Well. It wasn't pretty. There was definitely moments, aka the offense, that I definitely didn't like, and legitimately it was getting dicey. But the Bears pull through and they win the damn ball game. The Bears win a ball game. So, regardless, the Bears win. All is nice. All is happy. We don't have to freak out in week one in terms of what the hell's going on. And the worst case scenario is that the Bears probably don't start 0-2. So, yeah. Anyways, the Bears complete the comeback against the Tennessee Titans, a team that they should have beat. I said this game would be close. It probably would go to the wire. Um, so yeah. Now listen. I expected the defense to show up. Now I expected the special teams to do their job. I didn't expect the offense. I expected the offense to struggle a bit because that defense over there in Tennessee is pretty solid. But regardless, at the end of the day, I didn't expect the offense to play god awful. If I had to give my grades right now, special teams A plus, defense. In that first half, they were playing basically B minus C plus level defense. And then they went to the locker room, changed some stuff around, and boom, defense A plus, offense F. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Caleb Williams wasn't particularly good today. The offense wasn't good today. The play calling, I didn't think particularly was good today. But I think the number one thing most Bear fans are going to point out, which obviously needs to be pointed out, and that's the fact that the offensive line play was god awful. I'm just going to be frankly honest right now. If the offensive line doesn't get its shit together, the Bears are going to have a terrible season. Next week, we play the Houston Texans in primetime in Houston, Tennessee. If that offensive line has that same exact identical performance today that it did to this afternoon, then guess what? The Houston Texans will blow us out. As much as I love our defense, they'll hang in as much as they can. But CJ Stroud will pick us apart. The offensive line has to play better. It has to play better. Now, what I'm going to do, I could get into a rant, which I'm going to get into a rant on several topics. Obviously, the offensive line play is one rant topic. Another rant topic is Velus Jones Jr. I'm going to get that point actually out the way right now. I said it before. I said it in my preseason game recaps. I've said it before the past few seasons. Cut him. He serves absolutely no purpose being on this team outside of being a goddamn gadget guy. Velus Jones Jr. had another critical fumble at a current point in that game. He fumbles, another kickoff return. This was after Tennessee has some momentum, fumbles it, and thank God the Bears defense held them to a field goal. Now, Velus Jones Jr. barely got any other reps outside of the game, outside of like maybe 2 or 3 more reps after I saw him in. So he effectively was somewhat, I guess you can say, benched. But the Bears, dumbass, they still gave him fucking reps. Makes absolutely no damn sense. He is a liability out there. The Bears, Eberflus and his staff, damn well know when you put Velus Jones Jr. back in a return situation, 9 out of 10 times, he will fumble the ball. And obviously, coming off a Tennessee Titans touchdown, you get the freaking kickoff, and boom, he fumbles it right then and there. Tennessee recovers it. Thank God they only were held to a field goal because they had scored a touchdown on that drive. Because of that fumble, we lose this ball game. Well, actually, who knows if we do lose this ball game? We probably don't. If everything stays afoot like it was, no, actually, we'd probably be going to overtime right now. Because if they scored a touchdown to make it 14 nothing, they ended up scoring another touchdown, which would have made it 21 nothing, and then I think we held them to a field goal, which means they would have 24. And if the things play out right for the Bears, we have 24. We're going to OT, and I'm still not feeling confident. Regardless, whatever is the point, as I was saying, this dude is a liability. And the Bears keep giving this guy opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Stop! When is enough enough? And when are you going to finally stop seeing enough? But see, this is the problem. I feel like this is a hierarchy thing from Ryan Poles. The last episode of Hard Knocks, guess what? They confirmed that there was trade offers on the table for Velus Jones. And Ryan Poles contemplated about that, but he ultimately said, no, I will not be trading him because I feel like his compensation, the compensation we are being offered, is worth from the talent. Or the talent is worth that compensation. AKA, Ryan Poles talking about he thinks Velus Jones is probably worth a high second round pick. Because he thinks, oh, he's very talented. Now, I'm not going to deny, Velus Jones is not a talented individual because he's gotten this far. But legitimately, he has been a negative since he got here. He has been a bust of a pick since he got to Chicago. And Ryan Poles does not want to admit that he was wrong. He was fine to admit when Chase Claypool a year ago was wrong, and he's willingly just freaking traded him for a bag of chips. And where is Chase Claypool today? He is basically essentially a free agent now that is injured. The fact that Ryan Poles continues to give this guy freaking chance after chance after chance after chance, and this guy continues on a notorious basis to continue to, let's just be honest, he shot himself out of a job. But the Bears and Ryan Poles, I think this is more Ryan Poles than the Bears, just want to keep holding his hand because they value him so highly. That was one of Ryan Poles' first draft picks. So that's why he won't cut him and cut bait. Just cut him today. If I was the GM, I would have cut him. And I would have been like, look, I understand he gives us versatility, but I can't take enough of this stuff. He just is not producing enough, and he is obviously having a ball handling issue. I don't give a crap. Every time Velus Jones Jr. touches the football or is within the vicinity of a football, I get scared because I'm afraid he is going to fumble the ball because he can't hold on to it. He's got butterfingers. I nicknamed him Velus Butterfinger Jones for a reason. He can't catch, He can't receive a kickoff. And it was asinine that the Bears, coming out of the second half, the first play they handed off to Velus Jones. That just shows you right then enough. Poles must have came down to the locker room and said, please give him another opportunity. Because up until that point, he didn't play another snap. I'm done with Velus Jones. This should be his last year as a Chicago Bear. He should have been cut. And if they continue to give him more opportunities, I'm fucking pissed at this staff. And it goes to show me that Eberflus truly doesn't fucking care about this quote-unquote hits philosophy. Now, he did it to fucking Nate Davis today, but he won't do it to freaking to Velus Jones. Now, I'll probably watch the Eberflus press conference, and the media will ask him about what's going on with Nate Davis, and Eberflus will probably give a BS excuse saying, well, he probably hurt or something like that, trying to protect the image of his player. Just call it out and say, I benched him. I'm done with Velus Jones. That's part number one. Let's start on the positive before I get to the offense and the negative. Special teams. Special teams was good all day. Cairo Santos made his kicks. Tory Taylor, we just see what he can do, and I'm already liking this. There was a few punts. He boomed. And I'm just like, listen, if he can boom punts, even later into the season when obviously the wind and the elements will become a factor into games, listen, he's better than Pat O'Donnell and Trenton Gill combined. Much better. I can't say nothing enough about Tory Taylor and what Tory Taylor was doing today. We got a punt block, return for a touchdown, thanks to Jonathan Owens. I honestly think he should get some more reps on the defense because I like the way he played on defense in the preseason. But the Bears, in a critical situation when they were basically devoid, everything was dead. That's what started this comeback. And that was a punt block for a touchdown. That's what got the crowd back into the game at Soldier Field. That's what sparked the momentum of the Bears basically on the special teams and the offense and the defensive side of the ball playing a lot better. That was the spark that changed the tide of this game. If there was anything, if I was a Tennessee Titans fan, where the turning point happened was that punt block. That punt block completely shifted momentum. It got the Bears back in the game. Even though the offense barely did much of anything, the defense did its job. The special teams did its job. So, that was the turning point. And then obviously the DeAndre Carter returns were amazing. That is your returner. He was returning the kickoffs and taking them for long gains. Now, I didn't like one of the last few punt returns he had. Whatever. Just pick a direction and go straight. I was playing football. I was always told, never run backwards if you're on offense. So, whatever. I'll take that. Defense. Now, the first two drives of the game, they played exceptional. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about. But after those first two drives, then on, the defense was absolutely, I won't say god-awful. I think that's an exaggerated term for me. I guess you can say they were pretty bad. They didn't look good. They couldn't stop the run. The first touchdown Tennessee got, they just ran right all over them. They couldn't stop Tony Pollard or whatever. And I'm just like, what the hell's going on here? Giving up long third downs on a 3rd and 15. They weren't getting no pressure on Will Levis, making him feel too comfortable, letting him run up the middle when the seas just parted. Now, Will Levis' problem is he took too much damn punishment. Because there was a part in the game, he literally had a heat pack on him. And then he also got hit like later in the game, in the second half, and he got back up and he was limping. So Tennessee and Brian Callahan might need to tell him, listen, dude, get down. Don't even take any hits. But I'm seeing this, and I'm just like Ninja. Tennessee's got some weapons. They got Tony Pollard. They got Calvin Ridley. DeAndre Hopkins was out there, but he was a non-factor because he's hurt. Regardless, I'm like, this offense doesn't scare me. Still, we need to do better. And even though, there was one weird touchdown where Tyreek Stevenson got mossed or weird way. It looked like he had the interception and then he dropped it. And, Jalen Johnson, who aced the game, he ended up dropping a clear-cut interception on the deep underthrown pass. And the defense was going to look good in that first half after that second drive. On that second drive, they just didn't look good. But then I don't know what happened. Eberflus made some adjustments to his play calling, and next thing you know, boom, the defense was the top 10 defense that we expected. I got to give a shout out to this. I got to actually give two shout outs. I got to try to find his name on ESPN. Number one, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Billings. Andrew Billings. Holy hell, man. He recently signed a contract extension, and after the way he played today, if that is just a sign of things to come, holy hell. Thank God Ryan Poles got that deal done. And it's a good deal where he's locked up for a few years. Because, oh my goodness, he was playing out of his mind. He was blowing up the run. He was getting freaking pressure on Will Levis. He affected that game from the interior of that offensive line, man. Andrew Billings. Listen, man. I know he was mostly a run stopper last year, but holy hell, he was blowing some plays up, man. And Tennessee had nothing to do to stop it. They couldn't stop that guy. Absolutely crazy. They couldn't stop that guy. I'm trying to find one of the ends. I think it was 52. I should have got his name down. I forgot his hold on, let me see. Maybe I can Google him. Number 52 on the Bears. Darrell Taylor. That's another standout who stood out a lot in the second half. He did his damn thing today. He got pressure on Will Levis. He forced the fumble on Will Levis, which led to the Bears recovering it. It had, obviously, due to it, it got the Bears to get a field goal out of that. But he came in there and he did his damn thing. Darrell Taylor. Like, my goodness, man. Him and Andrew Billings on that defensive line was doing their damn thing in that second half. And then enough can't be said about the pressure that the Bears got. See, they weren't getting much of any pressure in the first half. Eberflus made a few adjustments, and he started to blitz more to get more home. And guess what? Who would have thought? If you send the blitz, you're able to get to the quarterback. Who would have thought if you send the blitz, the quarterback, a young quarterback, and Will Levis, makes a bad, costly decision. Another turning point of this game was the fact is, Will Levis, I don't know what in the blue hell Will Levis was thinking. And also, too, Will Levis was talking a bunch of shit on the sideline, trying to fire his team up. The camera always focused on that. And guess what? He basically screwed the pooch for his team. He screwed it all up. And if I was a Tennessee Titan fan, listen, I understand he's young, but he cannot make that decision. That was a terrible decision. Just as bad as we'll talk about Caleb Williams taking a very terrible sack. early in that first half. What is it? Will Levis trying to escape the pressure. Instead of just getting down and keeping the ball and just taking the sack, for an odd reason, he tries to pitch it out to the receiver in the vicinity. Tyreek Stevenson basically makes a play on it, breaks on it, picks it off, and takes it to the house for a pick six. That was another turning point of the game because Will Levis essentially gave the Bears a defensive touchdown instead of just taking the sack and being like, well, our defense is playing really damn good. They're stopping the Bears' offense. Boom. I'll just take the sack, live to fight another day. But he tries to do too much because that's what rookie quarterbacks do, or young quarterbacks try to do. Tyreek Stevenson with the heads-up play because he's also a young player because he could have just let that play go to the side. But no, he had a heads-up play. He goes in for it, picks it off, pick six. That gets the Bears a touchdown. To essentially, that's what tied the game. Or if I could actually hold on. Correct me. I don't no. That actually no. That was my bad. That interception ended up getting the Bears the game-winning leading touchdown, and then obviously the offense gets the 2-point conversion to make it 24-17. But regardless, Tyreek Stevenson coming up big in the clutch time right then and there, doing their job. And then the pressure is getting home to Will Levis on that last critical down or drive. And Will Levis makes a bad decision, throw off his back foot, just airmailing it. And then listen. Hold on. Now, I know this is my Justin Fields jersey, but listen, this guy, Jalen Johnson, number 1. He gets the game-sealing interception, and 1 week in, boom, interception already. He should have had 2 interceptions if he didn't drop it. And that's what we came for. That's the guy you paid for. And I love it when guys get paid, they still step up and do their damn thing. That guy. So the defense had a good game. Another good, solid highlight play I wanted to make an acknowledge of. The Bears' run defense, especially in the second half, definitely did get better. Another acknowledgement I want to make, Tremaine Edmonds made a very critical tackle. They basically somewhat motioned the running back because he was out wide with the running back. And the running back's running a drag route across. Tremaine Edmonds last year probably wouldn't make that tackle because he wasn't good last year. He made that nice tackle which stalled a Tennessee Titans drive, which gave the ball back to the Bears. So that's the thing right then and there. The defense played lights out. The special teams did their damn thing outside the Bayless fumble. So yeah. Anyways, let's get to this offense. This offense wasn't good today. Now, I expected some struggles, but I didn't expect this. Now, again, I'll save the offensive line for last. Let's talk about our rookie quarterback, the guy I'm wearing the jersey of, Caleb Williams. He didn't have a good game. He only had like 63 yards passing today. Now, the crazy part is, I think this could be his worst game ever as a pro. This could be his welcome to the NFL moment right then and there. And the only bright side in all of this is only things can get up from here. That's the only thing I can say that because he's got a lot of talent at the skill position level. Caleb Williams, in some instances, I thought he played well. Other cases, I didn't think he played good and he was just making rookie mistakes. I think one of the first plays is one of the play action passes that ended up getting blown up because the center legitimately gets bull rushed and blown up, Coleman Shelton, which I can't wait to rant about that guy. He keeps going back and back, and I'm just like, throw it away, Caleb, throw it away, Caleb, throw it away. And he takes a bad sack. He should have just threw it away. Boom. Like I believe that took us out of field goal range. Like that shit like that can't happen. Like even as a young quarterback, you have to know you can't take that sack. You can't. Just throw it away and live for another down. Because at that point, I think it was second down. So there was that, right? Um, there were, Caleb Williams, I thought, held onto the ball a little bit too long. You know, in some cases, I feel like maybe it had to do a little bit with the pressure he was getting. And, he didn't look confident. There were some throws that were just short and everything. And I just attribute that to he wasn't confident in himself because I think he got a little rattled a bit. And that's fine. That's fine. But, that's going to happen as a rookie. It can't consistently happen, but, you can't let pressure get to you. And I think he let pressure get to him. That internal clock kind of like, I don't know what you can say. There was times where he rushed throws, times where he held the ball on too long and stuff like that. He airmailed some footballs. He had DeAndre Carter wide open, overshot him. Early in the game, Keenan Allen was wide open down the sideline. He overshot him. That could have been the Bears' first touchdown and been like, okay, that's a big moment for Caleb Williams. I think in due time he'll connect on those, but those pass plays definitely got to be better. You can't be missing wide open receivers that are running down the sideline. You got to complete that. And that's just like freaking Bear quarterback shit right there, where there's an open receiver, and then guess what? You overthrow them. Just play catch with these guys. Play catch. You know, um, there was just times he just looked rattled, and it's just like, all right, it is what it is. He a rookie quarterback. I'm gonna give him his time. And I know I said like months ago, like he better prove it. Obviously, as the season goes on, he needs to prove it and get better from this. But like I said earlier, the fact that this arguably could be his worst game as a pro, then that's fine. Now, look, if same issues are happening in week 2, all right, I'll let it slide. If they happen in week 3, I'm gonna get a little bit antsy now. They happen in week 4, I'm gonna have fucking problems now. Um, whatsoever, the offense didn't look good. There were several things that I'm just like, what? The play calling from Shane Waldron, there was times where it was solid play calling, other times where I'm scratching my head like I'm watching Luke Getsy again. I didn't like that last Bears offensive drive where they needed to pick up a critical first down to maybe continue to ice and milk this game, and he calls a screen. And because the wide receiver doesn't do his job and block, it's blown up. Just run the goddamn ball. If you don't pick it up, whatever. Just run the ball. That's what you were doing the last few drives. Run the ball or do a zone read. And that's another thing. I think this is where I understand there's Bear fans that are happy that Justin Fields is gone. But legitimately, the one thing I will say with Justin Fields is yes, he could have done a better job at passing the ball more efficiently. But here's the thing. He also ran it to get the Bears out of some trouble too if he had the opportunity to. And I feel like Caleb, I understand he wants to pass the ball. But listen, if you have a wide open lane, especially as a young quarterback, just take it. Just take it. Because then guess what? The defense is going to find ways to try to collapse, maybe send a spy on you, and then guess what? That's when you can beat them because at least one guy will get open. There was like several times where I'm like, Caleb, just run, just run, just run. And he won it. He would just stay back in the pocket, hold the ball a little bit too long, and throw. And it's just like, okay, man, if you're gonna throw it, that ball's got to go there. Now, Shane Waldron too, again with the play calling. It seems like just like with Luke Getz, he has these long developing routes. Listen, man, you might have to play some more quick game, especially with the way this offensive line looked. I would hope that the Bears also too, Shane Waldron has more concepts to Cole Kmet. I don't think Cole Kmet got a reception today. He was odd missing. They threw to Gerald Everett on a blown up screen, which I didn't like. Listen, man, all I gotta say is this is all I gotta say. All I gotta say is this. Get Cole Kmet more involved in the offense, and it will help you flow. A quarterback's best friend is their tight end, and Cole Kmet is a pretty damn solid tight end. The fact he was negated in this game, I'm sorry, Shane Waldron, be better, do better. There's got to be more for Cole Kmet. More for Cole Kmet. Again, I don't watch the all 22. Maybe Cole Kmet wasn't getting open, but listen, you got to get more of an emphasis. You know, if the receivers, the skill positions weren't, struggling to get open, then you need your tight ends out there. I thought there was too many empty sets, but I think the reason for that was because the run game absolutely sucked. The run game sucked. Now, I'm not going to blame the running backs because guess why? I'm going to blame the offensive line. The offensive line was god-awful. The offensive line was atrocious today. I don't know why they were bad. They looked pretty damn good in the preseason. And we played some very competent opponents, especially the starting staff. But the offensive line, man, they could not block to save their life. They could not block to save their life on any run. And I'm over here looking back at Ryan Poles like, my guy, for the love of God, invest in the offensive line. I think Tevin Jenkins got blown up at some point. Nate Davis didn't have a particularly good game. And guess what? I don't know what the leash is on Nate Davis, but it sounds and it looks like the Bears are starting to get done and sick and tired of his shit. Honestly, just cut him and be done with it. And then you'll find, eat the dead cap. Eat the dead cap. Send a message. But my goodness, man. My goodness. The offensive line was absolutely atrocious. And obviously, the offensive line trickles down from the head of the snake. Ladies and gentlemen, if Ryan Poles, I swear, does not invest in a goddamn center in the offseason or in the draft next year, I kid you not, I am going to scream. These stopgaps, guys like a Lucas Patrick, a Coleman Shelton, they are not it. They are not it. Coleman Shelton was awful today. He, by far, of all the other offensive linemen that I felt played a bad game today, it was him in particular that was terrible. Flat out awful. Now, I don't know who the backup is. It would be Ryan Bates. But see, Ryan Bates ended up coming in later in the game to replace Nate Davis. Probably because Nate Davis was benched. So he ended up being the right guard. I thought Nate Davis was fine. I mean, not Nate Davis. Ryan Bates was fine. My bad. But I don't know who the backup center is to Coleman Shelton. But you hope going forward, he looks himself on the film. He throws that film out. And from point on, he gets better and he plays better. Coleman Shelton was awful today. He got blown up, which disrupted a whole play action pass. He got called for a holding. And I think one of the most egregious things he did today is the fact that there's a part in the game when it was on a third down. Jeffrey Simmons is getting blocked. He's getting double teamed. He is getting double teamed by Darnell Wright, and I don't know if it was Ryan Bates in there or Nate Davis, whatever. This man, Coleman Shelton, literally runs over as Jeffrey Simmons is getting double teamed. And it's a double team where it's like, all right, he's got him. He's got him. They got him. This man, Coleman Shelton, goes over there and he then starts blocking Jeffrey Simmons, thinking like they don't got him. Guy just runs a stunt or reverse stunt. The out defensive end runs right up the middle. Caleb Williams gets sacked. As a center, you're basically the middle. Stay there. Why are you even attempting to block a goddamn double team and try to make it a triple team? Now, if that was the scheme, the blocking scheme for that play, what the fuck blocking scheme was that? I'm looking at Shane Waldron and I'm looking at the offensive line coach. That can't have been the blocking scheme. Because if it was, then I'm seriously having doubts about this coaching staff and this new offensive coaching staff. And also, that just shows me maybe the offensive line coach should have been fired too, along with the other positional coaches. Like, come on now. Absolutely stupid. Absolutely stupid. That play by far shows me this offensive line is inept. And if your center cannot do his damn job efficiently, well, then that ain't going to make your offense work. Kyle Long made a tweet talking about the Bears center play because he was watching the game. And he made a comment talking about, like, listen, if you're the center and you're getting blown up by an undersized defensive player, you're the one at fault and you're the one messing up the entire offensive game plan. It's imperative that Ryan Poles stop being cheap. You had centers in the free agent market. You didn't want to pay them. Connor Williams was out there in the market forever. And he went to the Seattle Seahawks for god-awful cheap. Something that Ryan Poles would take probably or sign. No, we're good with Coleman Shelton. We're good. No, you're not. The center is still a fucking issue. It's still a problem. Ryan Poles needs to stop being a little cheap ass. You played offensive line. Improve the center damn position. Get a goddamn center in the draft or the offseason. Because Lord have mercy, that was the best possible case, better than anything else that you can do. Connor Williams is on the market next year because he signed a one-year deal. So if he has a solid year with Seattle, you hope that he doesn't go back to Seattle. Pay him whatever he wants to be the center of your Bears next year. Damn the injury concerns. Get a goddamn center on this team that is competent. I'm sick and tired. I don't give a crap. We haven't had a center since Olin Kreutz. We haven't had a center since Olin. It's been a revolving door. Cody Whitehair, Sam Mustipher, Cody Whitehair, some other guy, Lucas Patrick. Coleman Shelton's play, funny enough, he was wearing Cody Whitehair's number. Coleman Shelton's play legitimately had me begging. I don't care. I know Cody Whitehair was terrible. I will take Cody Whitehair back if that means I don't have to see Coleman Shelton play like that again. The offensive line has to do better because the number one thing I asked for is we need to get the running game going. DeAndre Swift also had a nice hurdle. Nice run, nice hurdle. I desperately enjoyed that. If this offense and Caleb Williams wants to get in a nice rhythm and you want to help your young quarterback so where it's not drop back passing and then the defense is just standing back in a zone, that offensive line needs to play better. They need to run block better, and they also definitely need to pass block better. They need to definitely run block better. Because if they don't run the ball better, well then, I'm sorry, but Caleb Williams is going to have a goddamn tough time. Because then teams will just sell out on the run and be 100% expecting the pass. They have to run the ball better. There's got to be better blocks. And listen, some of it has to do with just straight individual pride. These linemen, I hope, get chewed out in the film session, and they take pride within themselves going into Houston and play a much better game. Now, it ain't going to be easier with the fact that they got Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter on the other side of the ball. But listen, they have to do a better job at blocking. You have to get a semblance of the run game going. Because if it isn't getting started, you're going to have a tough time moving the ball. You have to put Caleb Williams in short down situations to make it easier for him. That's all I ask for. So the offensive line out of everybody needs to look at the tape, and they need to honestly be playing for some pride next week. Obviously, do the right thing the scheme dictates, but play for some damn pride. Because the defense of line definitely showed out with some pride. And plus, you play against this defensive line, I would expect this offensive line to play better. You practice against this defensive line that's a solid defensive line. I expected better. I'm sorry. That just tells me this defensive line in practice needs to put even more pressure. And then 2, guess what? Plain and simple. Offensive line needs to take some pride within itself. So, yeah. You'll have some people talking about how bad Caleb Williams played and blah, 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 blah. Whatever. It is what it is. If he's a rookie quarterback, he's not going to look good. Just do things that make the offense work better for him. And they tried to do short game passage screens. You know, in some cases, the Tennessee Titans were expecting that. And there's not a dang thing that you can do about it. And some balls were tipped at the line. Just got to be better. And Caleb Williams got to make better throws in some cases, and things like that. So, yeah. Regardless, the Bears get the W. They beat the Tennessee Titans. Jeffrey Simmons can't talk today. I saw how upset Jeffrey Simmons was the end game. He did his little shoving at the end when the Bears needed down. I bet you whenever they talk to Caleb or listen to the press conference, he'll probably say, I need to play better football. He more than man enough is going to admit that. But listen, well, again, like I said, he had a terrible game, but it can only go up from here. Like, let's just be honest. He can't play no worse than he did this week. I expect him to play a lot better next week in primetime on NBC, and we'll see where the game goes from there on. But yeah. Also, this was my first time doing Sunday Ticket. I'm on a free trial, and the fact that I didn't have to look up a goddamn stream. Now, I don't know if I ain't going to do it next year more than likely, but I'll just, since the hype of Caleb Williams, I'll buy a Sunday Ticket on YouTube TV and at least have a YouTube TV subscription for 1 year and then cancel that shit the following season. The only reason why I have a YouTube TV subscription right now is because DirecTV doesn't want to have ESPN on their goddamn channels because they don't want to come to a damn contract negotiation with Disney. So I think I might have to keep the freaking bite the bullet and eat the damn paying $70 essentially a month and essentially paying $300 for a whole year. It is Caleb Williams' first year, so I might as well do it. So I don't have to deal with this shit and deal with all these streams where I have to refresh again and again. The one time I actually watched a Bears game in peace and I didn't have to do all this crap. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on the Bears win, your thoughts on the Bears offense, and things like that. But till then, the Bears are 1-0. And thank God we're 1-0. This is a team that we should have beat. I'm not saying handily, but at least we won because I was afraid that we're going to lose because if they had lost, oh, bro. Oh, my God. We would have been 0-2. And we could have went maybe even 0-3 because the Colts played us. They played damn good this year against the Texans. I didn't check the final score, but they played damn good against the Texans. And Anthony Richardson played a damn good game. So, yeah. I just hope next week play calls are a lot more easier for Caleb Williams to get the ball out of his hands and do things and put teams out in space. Keenan Allen I thought was fine. I didn't like his drop touchdown. That could have been a game changer at that point in the game, but whatever. that point, if if everything plays out the same and we score a touchdown, we win this game by 2 scores. Uncharacteristic. Then I think I saw a stat line. Keenan Allen didn't drop a pass. He touched a drop down pass, touchdown pass. So we'll see. We'll see. I hope Kyle Kmet gets more involved in the offense. I think that's what they need to do. They need to get out of some of these empty sets. I didn't like it as much because it makes things too predictable. They need to run the ball better. Offensive line needs to block better. Plain and simple. Anyways, I'm going to get out of here. Catch you guys in this video. Till then, guys, stay safe for that and have a great rest of your day. Not return this video. Peace.